reigning NAL champs fended off their first challenger yesterday. Today they face a team that beat them in the playoffs in Stage 1. It is SSG and Wildcard coming your way right now here on the NAL. Welcome back here. This is Stage 2 of the NAL, Day 2, and we are already 2 games down here in the action. I'm Jonas Willinger alongside Laxing and Foxy as we get into this one. How close this matchup was in the playoffs. That opening round, the quarterfinals, Wildcard and Spacestation. But much to everyone's surprise, it was actually Wildcard who came out on top and knocked down Spacestation into the lower bracket. Obviously now it's a very different story, but still a rivalry at hand.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes certain playstyles on another team, sure, they might be a weaker opponent for others, but they seem to be a good, formidable opponent for SSG. And again, Wildcard is very resilient to the playstyle in which SSG brings, so this should be a good match for both of these two, and really a good showcasing to see if SSG is going to implement anything different, or they're going to keep that same ferocity and how aggressive they have been.
Well, the ferocity we saw yesterday, right? Ashen led the way, Fox, right? It was a 7-5 win. It wasn't dominant, but it was a dominant performance by that one individual.
No, it definitely was, but I feel like the whole team strategically it was a dominant performance. I mean, I would say that maybe the tables were a little fairer, but the way that SSG's been playing recently, where they've been adapting, we've been seeing them play slow, play fast. Everything that a SSG fan has been waiting to see out of SSG, different dynamics, they've put that on display.
I feel like good teams play their game to the best of their abilities. The best teams can also force their opponents to play the games they want to do. Yesterday, that was on full display from SSG.
Yeah, they did a great job at essentially baiting out what Standby was going to do to deny the plant. They were working for the win condition. They go for a plant. They understand the C4 comes downstairs. Yes, they lose somebody, but look at this. Downstairs, immediately a response comes through. He goes for 1-for-1. Now, he gets traded. They lost downstairs control. SSG knows, okay, there's another person downstairs. The C4 is going to come through. That is the win condition. What are we going to do? Well, we can't expend another person downstairs. We can't push into the site, but let's hold for the C4. And by God, I mean, thank God he hits the shot. He hits a beautiful shot on the C4 right here, comes up, it gets the diffuser down. Even though they get a little overzealous trying to take position, get back outside of the map, they've put Newers in a position where he can win it on his own because they were able to focus on the objective. I mean, a post-plant situation with time against you is so stressful, especially if you're standby and you don't have any veteran players to really calm you through the motions. So SSG understood what was the win condition. They responded to it in every single way that standby tried to respond back. SSG had a counter.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this is the praise that we've been wanting to give SSG, whether, you know, it's going to be a hot and cold day for them, whether they're going to perform or not. And it's little plays and moments like these where we see this is the SSG that they're slowly developing, that they are changing their style of play, because in many different other scenarios, I could have seen SSG over-aggress, play further into train, try to get that control, not focus on the player below, and just make things far more complicated than what they needed to. And especially for a player like Newers that we've had experience teaming with, we know that he's grown so much as a player where, again, I could see him getting super aggressive, but instead he plays it safe, shoots that C4, and then closes out that 3v1 flawlessly, just playing that position where he needs to be.
And I mean, look at the stats. This is what we talked about from EWC. They just get their opening kills, they fall back, and they're playing the objective. 3 plants, 5-to-1 opening kill conversion. So obviously they have a great understanding of what they need to be able to do to secure these rounds out. And they haven't been swapping it around. They haven't been faltering it. Yes, we had amazing play from Ashen, but we're not seeing anybody get too crazy just yet. They're sticking to the discipline.
Yeah, and on the wildcard side of things, in terms of people getting crazy, right, we've asked for a lot. We talked about this yesterday. Can veteran players like Dash step up? Can the newer players like Baby Shark come in and make a statement? I think yesterday we did see an improvement on both of those fronts.
Absolutely. And again, it was something that needed to happen. When you're in a best of one, you can't be making excuses. You need to be firing on all cylinders the second you jump into that lobby. If not firing on the first round, at least ramping up. And that's something that we saw specifically coming out of all the players, but in particular Baby Shark. He had a lot of clutch moments that were keeping his team and himself in the fight, being able to make this game extremely competitive. Then on the other side of Dash, Dash was having a terrible start. I think was one of the worst performers for Wildcard for their first 5 games throughout that regular stage, where we're really starting to see him come alive towards the end. But again, I needed to see it now, being that veteran, being that more experienced player. And again, 12 12 and 13. Yes, they didn't get that win yesterday, and that was off of big heroics that came from Ambi, where some of those rounds, Ambi doesn't get that ace, he doesn't get that 4K. We see Wildcard walking away with that win. But it is to say, as impressive and as happy as I am to see Dash in particular showing up, and same with Baby Shark, for Dash, I want to see that shield play. It is so pivotal to take advantage of this meta and use and abuse those shields, because it's not just about getting in someone's face, it's about taking control, putting that pressure, applying even ghost pressure, knowing that you have a shield constantly looking at you, feeding information that you can die vertically, you can die horizontally, that there is many things that succumb to a shield play that you have to think about many different variables. And we saw Dash in the early stages of Reload going all the way back to, that's where he was thriving the most and where we were seeing the most success come out of those attacking rounds, was Dash being such a pivotal piece on the Blackbeard, on the Blitz. I want to see it more. And the last time we saw the shield play come out of him was round 6, when they already went through all 5 rounds on attack. So I just want to see a little more coming out of Dash.
It was a battle, that game against Shopify Rebellion, as you mentioned. 8-7 overtime thriller to open up the stage, but the major contributor on that wildcard side, 17 kills to his name, it was Bay.
That's my Bay. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there saying that, and Bay has been no slouch since making his debut in Pro League back 2 stages ago. I mean, this kid, it's been so exciting as a former player for me to see a young, talented player like this come up from the ranks and just to continue to grow and improve with each and every single game. Where I could tell you, 2 stages ago, I wasn't too confident in the player that Bay was going to become, but he has just slapped me in my face and made it very clear that he is going to be a statement name for this roster of Wildcard. And I would be not surprised if some teams, later on in the future, if he keeps up these performances, that he's going to be poached by someone that they're going to be looking for him, because every single game, you can rely on Bay. We've talked about Kansan a million times. It's now time for Bay to be in that spotlight, because he is constantly putting up these performances and dropping numbers, and is a rookie still in the league.
Well, Wildcard as the quote-unquote challengers against the NAL champs. Fox, where do they want to take this one?
I mean, it's a bad position if you're Wildcard, because some of your fan favorite maps, Chalet, Cafe, Clubhouse, are all maps that SSG is going to be comfortable playing. SSG thrives in the smaller areas of the map. So obviously, if you're Wildcard, you want to go to a bigger map. You want to go to maybe a Nighthaven Labs, so to say, if it's up there. If not, I mean, oh, yep, Nighthaven Labs. Well, look at me.
I mean, this is honestly a better map for Wildcard. Again, these two met in playoffs, and Wildcard was the one that sent them into lower, and they actually beat them 7-2 on Labs, where SSG only succumbed to 2 victories on defense. So it goes to show, especially on a map like this, if Dash can utilize those shields. We know how oppressive shields are on this map. I need to see Dash come alive here and replicate their exact same sort of formality and how they approached SSG on this map, and not succumb to this over-aggression, because they can easily handle it.
Well, let's get down to business then. Now that we know the map, does this change how you're thinking about this one, SSG or Wildcard?
Not at all. No, I think SSG's just been on an upward trajectory. They've looked so strong. They have shown no weakness in the stage so far, which usually if the trend's set, they have shown weakness in the previous stages, but now we're seeing them adapt, play new roles, play new operators, play new styles. I just don't see them regressing at the current pace that they're at.
I'm going to change mine to Wildcard, now seeing the map. Obviously, when we make these, we don't know what the maps are going to look like, but given the history, given how well Wildcard does fare up against SSG, for that alone, I think it's a no-brainer for me to swap this to a Wildcard. They're just very resilient to this very aggressive playstyle of SSG. And again, I think a lot of the backing of this is going to come off of Dash playing those shields, so I really hope we see those shields coming out of him.
All right, SSG looking to fend off another hopeful challenger. Wildcard hoping to repeat that playoff success. Can they find it again against SSG? We'll find out right now.
And honestly, I hope we do find out, because even though SSG in that honestly bewildering lower bracket run that we saw last stage might have been the best team in the NAL, we were hoping a lot for Wildcard at the start of the stage, and boy were we left disappointed, then rejoiced, then disappointed again.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, isn't it? And that is often the way with some of our most beloved teams. One of the closer social predictions that we've seen tonight, 67% of you people watching backing SSG. And I think you would be daft not to. However, Wildcard are in themselves living up to their name. Let's be honest. You never really know what you're going to get with this side. We saw them put in a fantastic performance way back when, and we saw them come in stage 2, and we thought, come in stage 1, and we thought if they can replicate Reload, it might be one of the top teams in NAL. They weren't able to replicate Reload in stage 1. It took them a long time to get going. And yet, yesterday, we see them put up a very good fight against SR, one of the better teams inside of the NAL. It was an 8-7 overtime for our first game of stage 2. So you never really know what you're going to get with this team. A bit like a box of chocolates. SSG, however, typically, they can be a difficult team to watch at the best of times. When they're good, they are fantastic. And when they're on an off day, it can be really painful. However, moving on to labs, we will see what we get here. It's a very high preference map for the side of Wildcard. It is their second preference. For SSG, on the flip side, and as the desk mentioned, it is down there as, well, one of their least preferred maps. Currently 7th pref. So, that would tell us one thing. SSG are going to have to fight here tonight, and they've come here for a very important reason. Let's see what that is.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I have it very high on my preferences, personally. Hello. Ashen. Pop. Not any shots out of that window, actually. Let's take a peek, though.
Reloading.
Ashen had a show-stopping game against Standby yesterday. 4-1 on the entry. Most of that coming on the attacking side, to be fair. So if he's going to stick close to the script from that Cafe game on day 1, we'll have to wait to see a lot of Ashen's impact. We'll see Newers, who's created a little bit of a jungle gym for himself on the bottom of Aqua Stairs. Take a peek over towards Dash, full extending that Monty, who will then back off pretty soon after. A lot of angles created by the defense to trip up this attacking side. One player on EXO, one player just looking right on the opposite side of that door frame. This is all Wildcard, just testing for the moment, probing, trying to find some information, find where they can gain an angle, and SSG is trying to make sure they can't get too much too quick.
Yeah, SSG have got to contend a lot of the map right now because of the bans. We've got the Cade and the Bandit ban. So you're very much expecting hard breach and reinforced walls to be opened. And the only way to kind of deny that is to play a little bit more aggressive, which is something that SSG are fairly well accustomed to. So far, they've done a good job of vying for that control and not giving anything up too easily. With the Monty available, you can be certain that Dash is going to use that. And already, SSG are retreating back to the site. Now, I say already, and you might be looking up at the clock and thinking there's a whole minute left. But don't forget, we've got a ramp. We can rip that floor open super quick. And the last place you want to be if the floor's getting opened up above you is inside of the site, especially if you've got a Monty bearing down with some live information.
This is probably going to be a close execute in the best way possible. Wildcard have a lot of what they saw, yet SSG maintain a lot of threats to pose against this incoming execute. They with a huge pickup, Ashen, and now Benja taken down. SSG held on to that control for as long as they could. But the moment Wildcard pushed them back, everything falls into place. 4 kills, defuse plant. And if they so choose, they can just hold and play passive. This Monty doesn't have to push that deep. Dash doesn't have to get that kill. But he does, and it's insult to injury. Because Wildcard spent a lot of time pushing SSG back. And once they did, they had them exactly where they wanted them.
A very good round from Wildcard. Really well executed start through finish, and a very clear plan and strategy as to how they wanted to try and take things. They knew that SSG were going to have to play a little bit more aggressive. They knew that they were going to roam a little bit more off-site. SSG don't have an option. They have to do that. The tools brought by Wildcard, I don't think you could pick a better lineup to really deal with that. I am super surprised, I'll be honest, that Monty's gotten through. Something that the desk was speaking about as well. You know that Dash is a fantastic shield player. Now, granted, you can't ban them all, but the Monty proved so valuable there just for shoveling those defenders back. In conjunction with the floor getting ripped open, no one really on SSG able to get a flank off. Flank protection was there anyway in the Nomad. Really difficult round to defend.
Well, see, this is the thing. It's like, Dash is a really good shield player. Yeah, but like, which week? There were some weeks where, like, yeah, Dash was a really good shield player. There were other weeks where Wildcard could not use the shield well to save their lives. Now, that was necessarily a Dash issue sometimes. Sometimes it was. Sometimes it was a coordination issue. That's also the thing with Wildcard last stage. It was a very Jekyll and Hyde team. There was like a brief point where like, oh my god, they're using Dash so well in this operator. And there was the beginning and kind of the end where it's like, okay, it looks like they've never used the shield in their lives. It was the consistency that was the issue. It was that about face they would give us at the exact moment we started believing or disbelieving. No shield here, though. So at least a moot point for round 2. Instead, not only do we have the Scopos in play, we have the Denari as well, brought by Ashen. We'll see what on this pretty extended, or at least setup on Kitchen and Dining on the top floor. Let's see what SSG have to offer.
I would agree with your point, read the shield. And I think that the fact that Wildcard aren't bringing it here is probably a good sign because they're not trying to force it in every single round just because it's there.
It's not a crutch.
Yeah. It's very likely going to get banned at the midway point of the phase anyway. But I don't think they need it. They've got a real focus on roam hunting this time. Got the Dokkaebi, got the Deimos. Dash. He's going to be inside of the bottom of Aqua Stairs right now and gets punished for his swing. The drone was working at his feet. And he was just going for a little look-see. J9O was already holding the angle. SSG going to open things up here in round 2 with a pick.
One of those things where, honestly, Dash didn't even really commit to his swing. It looked like his earlobe went around the corner and J9O sniped it right off. Ooh, Ashen, always so aggressive on these angles, decides to challenge. Thinking the off spot might be enough to trip that player up, but Baby Shark, a little too clean with the AK. Has neutralized the early loss of Dash. Given Wildcard not a clear way back in, but at least a chance to open the breach. Might come down to Kansan. Little lurk up Exo stairs on Kitchen and Dining. Could be cold. Could be freezing Ollie. But this is another lengthy reset. Mid-game of round 2. Utility will start going out. He's providing information. Look at how spread out this attack is. One outside the window. Kansan on, at least was over by Exo. Baby Shark pushing up the long hallway. Around the Kiba, found a brief gap, can sprint through that smoke. Revolver for close quarters, but the attack's falling to pieces around him. He's been spotted by the defense's own intel. Kansan, who's been trying to make this lurk work since the midpoint of the round, has yet to find anything as he marches up Exo stairs while Baby Shark finds a kill. It is just SSG holding strong in round 2.
I think you're asking a lot to make that play as the Deimos. There wasn't too much else really that Baby Shark could do. Kind of had to go for the big Hollywood moment. But SSG are far too well disciplined to fall for that. Happy to get an opening pick. Happy to sort of relax back into the site and just play in some of those inherent power positions. Brilliant pick from J9O and great patience to get that response. I think SSG could just sort of wait for Wildcard to undo themselves a little bit there. It wasn't like round 1 where we could see a very clear vision of how things were meant to go. And I think that was in part due to losing Dash early on. It is a Dokkaebi, so it is going to be a bit of a trigger. Certainly something to assist in a roam clear or to mask some sound and a good go button for everyone to really get behind. But even with that, I don't think there was as clear a plan as we saw in round 1 for how to deal with that defense. And SSG are going to be sticking to that mid floor, choosing to avoid the top floor so far in their rotation.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
I mean, double hard breach ban, or double hard breach denial ban, excuse me. I kind of get it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Just makes things a little weird. It's like, is it unplayable? No. Like, you better be bringing Mira, you better bring Nazami, like, your lineup's kind of fixed. So, makes sense why they made an adjustment in this rotation, given the defensive advance of Wildcard. Also makes Wildcard's job a lot easier, because if that happens, you pretty much know exactly what 3 sites you're going to get. So I don't think they'll be surprised by this outcome. Not a whole lot of hard breaching. I mean, you do have the can openers, but Typically, one thing we will see is even though they won't like push through it, a lot of times we'll see Thermite brought up top to open up the IT breach just to give you a wider angle to control the rotations through there. That won't be a factor this time. It'll just be the can openers, and that can be a bit more narrow of an angle, I think, sometimes teams bargain for, or teams expect.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal. For example, there's no way Ashen would stand there if that was thermited. But because it's tin opened, yeah, you can get away with it. Could be a pinch here from Bay. He's framing up for a bit of a push right now, but as we mentioned, there isn't quite the required amount of pressure coming through that IT breach to really force those players about. More players now stacking up inside of Electrical. Their attention turns below as, a narrow shot, and it's seldom that we see Kansan miss one like that. But Benja will get away.
SG will be thankful for that one. As by and large, Wildcard have been pressing consistently, but taking a long time to press that little control on the top floor into now cementing full control
I'm reloading.
of the upstairs position.
Loading new magazine.
Not a whole lot of soft reaching beyond this secondary shoddy. So Wildcard, we're hoping to make full use of this. It'll take a long time to get these holes created, and I don't know if they'll even get that much visuals from it. Kansan gets the first pick, at least. So that's a 5v4, C4 taken down. I believe both were used. But now with the next, again, just like round one, Wildcard took a long time to get set up. But once they did, it was easy to convert afterwards, or at least it seemed that way. Benja in the late round will take down Baby Shark, doing a Baby Shark classic, likely trying to lurk below. Maybe he didn't need to in this position, but also maybe it won't matter. He's going inside of the site as Wildcard trying to find a way to put this diffuser down as the momentum seems to be leaving them. It's only a 2v2, and there is still the chance for a win. But as they've tried to convert, SSG have found the gunfights necessary, have made it even, and Spiker doesn't have a clear way in. Bolts might be spotted, but where's Benja? Is his intel about to run out? They'll find the player walking up cargo, and it's just Bolts with a direct line onto the Grim! How have they let SSG find every single gap and every gunfight they needed to win goes the way of the astronauts?
A really close round, and one that Wildcard should be walking away with. The momentum just flipped with around, 10, 15 seconds left to go? Wildcard. They're the rounds that you should be converting. Can't be giving opportunity away like that, and they know that. Hence the tactical timeout right now. I feel like it was a little bit too sloppy in the post. Sorry, not in the post. It didn't get to the post, but in the final few seconds of the round. As soon as you make it a 2 versus 1, you've just got to cover the planter. You've got to keep yourself safe as well. There's only a couple of places that Fultz can come from, and I'm pretty sure he was even tracked on the Bs as well. So I don't know if it was just like a pure ego challenge. Wildcard are going to be kicking themselves for that one. Got to let it go for the time being though, and just work out how they're going to move forward here. A fairly early tactical timeout, it is worth mentioning as well. They obviously feel like there are some pretty substantial gaps here that they can start to exploit. SSG on the flip side, this is their wheelhouse. These guys are cold as ice. It can be the scrappiest siege you've ever seen, and it is exactly where they want to be. They thrive in and amongst the chaos.
They always seem to find a way. Honestly, like one of the only teams I've seen consistently seem to just have plot armor, which is interesting because like aside from NAL, like last stage, they've never really like been on a run. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever been like, oh, I think SSG are gonna win this tournament. But like they always find themselves in these moments, like the FaZe game at Atlanta, almost 2 years ago now. Last stage, obviously on playoffs, a good example too. They always just seem to find themselves in these really weird moments where it's just like they can't do wrong. Not saying this game is an example of that, but despite like not having like the most success in the long run, SSG do have almost kind of a mythological status, which I honestly find impressive. But anyway, that's my own thing. Speaking of geometry, that's crazy. We've got like a triangle on the floor, and then like literally like a secant line on the window.
A what?
I think that's the geometric term. I was very bad at geometry.
I didn't study maths that deeply.
No, that's not a secant line. Actually, wait, it might be. I don't know. You're studying math in chat. You can tell me I'm wrong.
There's one person typing right now.
This is a Rainbow Six channel. There's at least a few people typing right now.
Opening pick for Spiker.
Shout out.
Very early as well. Inside of the first minute. Dash. Back on the shield. It's a super similar lineup to what we saw previously. It was the Monty that really gave them a lot of room to work with. And the Ram is worth mentioning. Both of which made their way through the second round of banning. So it's weird to not see them be brought given the success Wildcard saw with them both. However, there have been some changes made. Dash is this time going to be on the Blackbeard. Nice bit of drone info here as well. Could this be another opening death on the side of SSG? Well, it's certainly going to be. Spiker picks up his second there. Ashen still battling for his first, and I don't think he's going to get it.
Ooh, well, he will, but it's a first traded Baby Shark. Almost losing his grip on that gunfight. I can't even really tell you what's happened this round. Just like Spiker walking in, finding a kill. There's been a lot of focus on the setup for Wildcard in the rounds where they've looked good. Even last round where they faltered. This time, I feel like they're waltzing into these gunfights and coming away the victors. Not that one, though. Janino has been looking snappy today. Even though only 3 and 2. Hell of a good kill right there. Wildcard have most of what they need, though. Okay. Surely not. As Janino can wrap around, might be able to catch Spiker falling off this plant, but again, such low HP. It's got to be kills like that. It has to be crazy flicks like that. And the odds are just too steep, even for one of the best players that we've ever seen in North America. Wildcard tied up 2-2 with 2 more rounds to go.
I love watching J9O in the clutch because I'm sat there watching it thinking this could be another history clip. This could be one of those clips that we see on the pre-game adverts for another 6 months to come.
He's just a wizard, man. Like, I don't know how he does it sometimes.
There are not many players in that 1 versus 4 where I'll sort of sit up and go, okay. He gets the first 2 and I'm like, yeah, this is still quite doable. There aren't many players, not just in North America, but inside of the world as a whole. But J9O is definitely one of them. He was done by a jobless angle there from Spiker. really trying to secure that round. And the thing is, Wildcard know that as well. They're sat there going, oh god, it's J9O, this is possible.
But hey, if I want my IGL from Wildcard to be doing anything in the post plan, I want it to be holding the job this angle. I want him to be locked in. It is troll time was not sanctioned. It is time to lock in.
I find it quite weird how Wildcard come away with that round after the timeout. It was nowhere near as technical or as coordinated as round 1.
No.
And SSG just kind of gave themselves up a little bit. And it's the duality of this team again.
The Youngian thing, sir.
Setting up a breaching sequence.
I don't understand the reference.
It's a Full Metal Jacket. Basically, at one point he has like a pin. Talks about the duality of man.
Oh, okay.
The drill starts asking, goes, the Youngian thing, sir, because Young was a philosopher. Talk about like duality of man. Anyway, moving on, changing topics entirely. Hey, we have a top floor defense. We mentioned that lack of hard breach denial can sometimes make this site a little tricky. Wildcard made it even trickier by taking the Azami out of SSG's toolkit. Kind of interesting, the only hard breach, well, not actually not true, hard breaching Hibana and the Ace, but using the X Kairos on the IT wall. I think it's the Selma used here, but you got to deal with these X Kairos. Wow, it just sniped that C4 out of the air. Grenade goes over. Oh, I like this. Okay, I'm a fan. I was curious. I had questions about the hard breach allocation Ollie, but they've sold me.
Still a little bit scrappy, isn't it?
Ooh, it didn't get the mirror window.
Spiker's got 10 Xkaros pellets left. Okay, so we've got connector open. That's a tick in a box. there is still chance to get that IT wall open. We're approaching the halfway point in the round, though, so you don't really want to be doing it much later than that. Mute is doing a great job of securing the mirror window here, which is, by the way, crucial to this defense. And I don't think there's any way of getting that pocket reinforcement used on it either. Would take a very bold play from one of these defenders. It looks like Wildcard are just going to try and brute force it in through connection. He's going to send the diffuser first. Hello.
Oh, this can always be tricky, but look at that. Coordination with the air draft sent over top. Dash! Lightning quick on these reflexes. The moment Ashen tries to go for the trade. A bit late, I will say. As Benja had fallen a lot earlier, he was praying that Dash would be caught slipping, and he is just not missing these timings. Everything is turning up ace. But, whew, this is crazy mechanical skill we're seeing from everybody in the lobby at the moment. But Wildcard just simply stack up too dominant of an advantage to let it slip away, retaking their lead from round 1.
I think it's kind of expected to do well on the top floor when you've got both the hard breaches, both the hard breach and NAL band. But it wasn't really even that did it for Wildcard. It's kind of a rush through, well, not a rush, but it's kind of a push through electrical. And Dash getting 3 kills doing it. When they sent him through first with the diffuser, I'm thinking, this looks a little bit ill-advised.
A little shaky.
Yeah, let's be honest. Ashen really isn't having a good time today either.
No, not
1 and
all.
5, like that's a kill that you need to be refragging. You need to refrag Benja there.
Ashen has 17 kills in the past 2 days.
I don't know if that's a lot or not. Like, what's somebody else got?
Well, he had 16 yesterday, so the point is...
Oh. Well, yeah, I can do that maths.
Well,
I've studied maths enough that I can understand that.
That was the bit. Well, you don't know what a secant is, so I don't really know how much you studied, to be honest with you. Let's just get that on the record.
Okay, then. Okay.
At least I got the secant wrong, but at least I knew it's a thing. Unless I got it right, which is maybe possible.
I think it's even funnier that you don't know if you got it right or wrong. You just know, it's a thing.
I know secant is a thing.
Right, I'm gonna throw some context on this. So
I know it's like it intersects 2 different points on a circle,
Okay.
but it's like not the diameter. Crow would know. Shout out Crow, the math guy.
You always need a math guy.
You always need a math guy, generally speaking. Ooh, hello. Bit of early face. Shot on the top floor by this defense, but they'll fall back pretty quick. Wildcard looking to take some early control as well. Dash up top on the Monty. Baby Shark down below on the Ash. You have to really admire the way Wildcard have played so coordinated throughout this half so far, which again, kind of ironic given the 2 rounds we've just seen transpire. But at least the ceiling has been set pretty high for this attacking side. Thinking back to round 1, what they were able to make work on that basement execute. He's also pushed the Scopos in a tricky spot, but nobody really in a position to cut Benja Master off, so both roamers will get back safely. But as I say that, there is somebody on the bottom of house stairs who will put Benja quite low. Dash continuing to give chase, spots the warden around the corner. SSG are just as resilient as Wildcard are thorough at the moment. But with the guns coming alive for Wildcard, they have strung these rounds together and found engagement after engagement after engagement. It begins and ends in the span of about 10 seconds. And at the end of it, Wildcard come away with a 4-2.
I tell you what, it's a very good job that Wildcard won that round. And it's an even better job that they won it in the fashion that they did. Because I was about to go mental that nobody was there to catch Benja on the Scopos. It was like Benja didn't even know his luck. He was like, the barricade's open and no one's there. Like, I'm actually going to get away from this. Like, he said he's dead 10 seconds ago. He's like, guys, I'm dead. Like, Monty's bearing down on me. They're going to have a cross on me. Don't worry about it.
Life.
Yeah, I'm going to play my life. And everyone's gone, yep, no worries. And he's been able to get out. They still lose the round, so it doesn't matter at all. And there was a bigger plan afoot from Wildcard, it seems. But it does just go to show how punishing that Monty can be. And I love the way that Dash has used it because it hasn't been a consistent pick. It's been used as a tool as and when it has been necessary. A brilliant attack from Wildcard. Not only in round 6, but as a whole. 4-2 split is a good result indeed. Baby Shark and Bay, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what a little duo there in that last round.
Yeah, just talk about just a 2-day performance from Baby Shark and Bay. I mean, Bay only, what, 4-3 right now. It's not the most impressive, but 17 kills yesterday against Shopify. Baby Shark at 12 yesterday, and now with 9 today at 21 over the 2 days we've seen. I mean, Dash even. 8 kills, 12 yesterday too.
I think the amount of kills is impressive. It's the amount of deaths as well. Like, these are gunfights that they are straight up winning. They're either gunfights they're winning or they're kills that they're getting where they're shooting someone in the back.
Which, not the case yesterday. Dash, 12 kills, 12 and 13, -1. Baby Shark, only +2. They were getting a lot of kills, but dying just as much. It was only Bay on Wildcard who was actually having this outsized impact and wasn't just having about 1-for-1 in their own KD. Here, Dash, 4-0. Bay, 4-3 is not a big deal, but Baby Shark, 3-0 KD. KD isn't the end-all be-all, but when you have two players that are just constantly getting more kills than they are dying, it makes a big difference. Seems to be the case here, but Ashen caught peeking the wrong spot. Bay gets away with 2. Dash immediately rotates around. Not only is the individual performance crazy, the communication is excellent. They call Dash, send SSG out of round 7, and I just don't think Fultz and Jan are even going to mount anything.
They've got 2 minutes 15. A wealth of utility. Neither of them have spent anything yet. And what do? Because your team has crumbled around you. Ashen again trying to make something happen. 1-7. And there's no one to pick up the slack. It's not like we're having a J90 day or a Newers day or a Benji day. They're all just putting in below average performance by their own standard. So when you've got someone that's really dragging their knuckles across the dirt, it makes it incredibly difficult. Wildcard should just be able to sit back, hold their angles, play trades. Nothing fancy required right now. Jane, I know, going to try and make something happen. Him and Fultz have doubled up here inside a connector. Wildcard know where they're coming from.
They do. Flashes will go out. Could be some good coordination, but Baby Shark aggresses a little bit. Shotgun, if you're going to take it, is the right one for that engagement. So C4 goes out. Not the right spot. But you have a utility surplus. You got one more C4 and a toxic canister. Perfectly fine. Perfectly acceptable. A 5-2 half for Wildcard. What an impressive start. 4 rounds in a row. 3 on the attack, and now they're first on the defense. All ending with a W.
It's going to feel good for Wildcard as well because they put in a hell of a performance yesterday against SR. They walked away with a point for it. A point for their troubles. But a max OT game. And from memory, the last round was a little bit scrappy as well. Certainly making up for it today. Not looking to drop any points here against Spacestation. And again, I don't know who you favor coming into this one. It's easy to sit here and talk about it now because we've seen the score. But based on performance, and especially what we saw yesterday, you can't entirely count Wildcard out. And they've proved that in the server tonight. 1 round away from guaranteeing points, 2 rounds away from locking it all up. And now they get to defend upstairs. And with the way the bans have fallen, they've still got a bandit. It's not impossible for SSG to deal with by any means. It's very doable.
But we've seen teams fumble on clearing this bandit battery on IT wall plenty of times. It seems so simple, you know. Just go below and Zofia, or go and just EMP, right? But if you try to EMP trick, all right, well, they're just, I don't know why I'm talking about EMP tricking. This is SSG who will not drone the window that they're hopping in, but somehow kind of manage a 3v4, 2v4, 1v with 2v4. We didn't drone the left side of the window, which is a bit awkward. But Bay, perhaps, will get got here. Spots Jan90 peeking around the corner. I do kind of bet on Jan90 to win that fight. Bay is also a little isolated at the moment.
Attackers
put up the
have located a
Kiba.
bomb.
Stop anybody from getting immediate line of sight on him, at least from the hallway Jan I know is pushing. He'll continue forth.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
There's Kansan. Ready to get the second to last kill. Wildcard need to move to match point. Move up 6-2. Denied full points yesterday. Even denied 2 despite a monumental performance. But with just one more kill and one more round, they will at least guarantee themselves point number 2. The first weekend of the North America League.
SSG really dying on that sword of we all just, you know, whatever decision is made, that's the decision that we go with, and we do it as a team. You got to commend it, because sometimes it works and sometimes it's brilliant. Other times it looks a little bit like that. And you have 5 players hop in a window and 3 of them get taken out. I don't think there's going to be too much cause for concern regarding that particular play inside of the tactical timeout. The mentality that SSG run is very much what I've just said. A decision is made, the team follow the decision. If it's a good decision, great. If it's a bad decision, so what? They got good team play.
Win or lose.
And everybody is able to commit to the call. However, that's all well and good, but there's still a game to win here. And Wildcard have just put themselves onto map point. SSG don't want to walk away from this empty-handed. They're not going to come away with a full 3, but there is still a chance of a couple of points here if they get their act together. But they need to do better than just catapulting themselves through the same window.
That'd be ideal. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? Yeah, as you can see right here. I mean, wow, it actually was all 5 of them. I don't think I even comprehended that it was all 5. Like,
there was a team kill in that. Jane, I know, hit a team kill in amongst all that chaos. I only just saw it then.
there's a lot going on. There was a lot.
I don't think it mattered, really. I think the results probably still the same.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I don't know if it's exactly trending all that differently. Kansan hiding the pulse, by the way. Thought we didn't notice, but we did.
10 seconds left before
Castle barricade, get the cover. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Now I'm gonna go do my setup.
5 seconds to go.
We'll say... Alright. Dokkaebi, Deimos, Blitz, Ram, and Striker. Probably a full clear. That'd be my guess.
They've got the perfect tools for the job. They can roam clear. They can use the Blitz to gain space. And then they've got the Ram boogie drones to rip open the floor. They buy themselves a little bit more time by doing it this way. So confident in their utility that they're even going to use them to open up into IT. I imagine there's some early pre-placed drones that have gone out there and called this top floor as clear, because Lewis is moving with a little bit of confidence, but maybe just making some educated guesses. Ooh, some nice damage there on Ashen. That's his second kill of the game, by the way. Comes through the drone hole onto the feet of Dash, but it's an important one nonetheless. It has removed the smoke from play.
Big player and big operator taken off the field early on, just reaching the minute mark into the round. SG on this full clear. Win the early game with flying colors. In position to get all of those boogie drones, all the hard breaching they want. First Dokkaebi call used, still plenty of Deathmark trackers as well. Benjamaster here's one just around the corner. It's a double swing and a double falter. With Baby Shark and Bay meet the business end of that M14. Kansan looking to refrag, will find one, maybe 2, as another 1v1 moves his way. But SSG gave the call to push quickly. But how quick is too much? This is only a 2v2. Ashen now falls. Kansan's fully retaken up top. And the 1v1 is a blitz? What space are you going to create? You got to be worried about ADSing, revealing your feet. Kansan's got the heartbeat scanner as well to find time. C4 over top. It misses. One blinded. Trying their best to make this dance work. And the bandit stabs him in the neck. In the 1v1 wild card. A close game today does not mean it'll be close tomorrow. 7-2 over our NAL champs.
I can't believe that he got that knife kill off at the end. Fulz just turned his back at the wrong moment. Super unfortunate. Another really close round there. But ultimately, the game wasn't as close as that final round might suggest. Wildcard had great control throughout the course of Nighthaven Labs. And SSG really threw everything at it to try and come away with anything. But unfortunately for them, 0 points in their second game here of stage 2. We're going to throw to a break. After that, we'll be back with our desk. Don't go anywhere.
I have you covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready? Flash me.
Flash.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Let's fucking
Let's go, dude.
Let's go, Evan, you are insane. Let's go, Spiker, let's go, bro, let's go.
Oh, the Spiker 1v1 to close it out was just, it was just that extra little bit pushing the knife in even deeper. Wildcard take the win over SSG. Same scoreline, same map as the last time these two teams met in the playoffs. Spiker is standing by. We'll welcome him in now. After that 1v1, we'll get you initial reactions out of that play, because that was wild. You sneak around, you get the knife. What was that moment like?
Honestly, didn't even know what to say. Like, you saw after the game, I didn't even say anything. I was just, like, looking around. I didn't even know what I just played. Because the same thing happened in Labs on Reload. Me and Evan were in a 2v5 on Basement, and the same thing happened. They, like, tried to flood, and we won. So, I don't know. We just have aura on that side, I guess, in that situation.
Nah, I mean, you guys definitely had your aura displayed, and one question I want to know is how your aura was affected. Obviously, you guys played SSG in Stage 1, beat them, and now you find yourselves on the same map, same scoreline, but the only difference is SSG is the #1 team in the NAL currently. So did that affect you guys at all going into today's matchup?
Nah, not at all. We know that if we play our game, we can literally beat anybody. You know, we've seen that in the scrims. We've seen that in the scrims, and we've seen that on game day. We can literally beat anybody. I think we played okay versus Shopify. I think our slow start really just caught us, so it didn't affect us at all. You know, we knew that our map bans line up very well against them, so we were confident no matter what.
Well, I watched you Molly Wop a blitz, so congratulations on that, and then obviously congratulations on the win. I kind of want to talk to you about Dash and Baby Shark. I previously have talked about Dash and Baby Shark's performance, at least in the beginning of Stage 1, wasn't really up to snuff, especially from Dash's end, and I talked about his shield play, whereas now into this Stage 2, both players are performing extremely well. Dash and Baby Shark in particular today really popped off, carrying the charts, and I was more putting emphasis on Dash in terms of his shield play. Obviously, what we saw in Reload, you guys had him playing between the Monty, between the Blackbeard, whereas now you guys are all kind of pivoting, playing the shield. Is that kind of a strategy that you're going towards in the future, or is that kind of just a one-off of what Labs kind of plays into your guys' favor?
It kind of really just depends. You know, I think anybody can play BB, and I think, you know, Blitz especially fits Shark's playstyle pretty well, so maybe he'll whip that out eventually. But really, it's just depending on what I want to call and where we're going with the take and everything. So it just depends kind of on all those factors. But I think, I think anybody can play a shield, even maybe Bay, but probably not. But I know he wants to, but I'm trying to keep him on a gun, so.
For sure. As a team, Spiker, what would you say your expectations are for this stage as a whole?
I mean, obviously, our bare bone is we want to make playoffs 100%. Our goal is obviously to make Munich and make a run there, because we would love to, qualify for SI and everything like that. But, no matter what, we want to make playoffs, and then we just want to build off that, keep improving. Same thing I've said before, we just want to keep improving every game, every scrim, every day, everything.
All right, well,
So
clearly saw some of those improvements today. 7-2 over SSG. You guys now have 4 points total after the overtime loss yesterday. So good start to the stage, and we'll continue to see you down the line. Thanks, my friend.
All right, thanks.
All right, see you, Spiker. What a win.
Made the right call.
7-2. You made the right call to switch it up at the last minute there. Was it the map that did it? Was it Wildcard's performance yesterday that did it? What made you make that swap that worked out so well?
It was definitely the map, but again, I think it plays into the two different play styles, whereas Wildcard, they don't let SSG's aggression affect their style of play. They know how to control that aggression. They're extremely resilient, to say the least, in terms of how SSG plays. And again, when you're looking at the stats across across the board for this team. The lowest rating in cost for everyone across the board, it was 78%, 78%, 78%, 89%, 78%. Everybody was putting their foot forward in this matchup to replicate that exact same performance that we saw in the beginning of those playoffs last days to shut it down here in a 7-2 fashion.
Two players that we talked about coming into this game, Dash and Baby Shark. Big names. We were like, can they step up? The veteran, the newer player. Fox, it was clear that they did.
Oh yeah, Baby Shark has only been looking more and more comfortable as this stage has taken off. Obviously, he's been one of the main players on getting those kills. I mean, Dash has been a little slower to the party, but even he was having some big rounds, obviously some influential roles, playing that shield a little bit sometimes. And that's what we wanted to see from them, is both of them just being a lot more consistent. And I'm happy to see Baby Shark showing all of the improvement that he's had in this stage since the stage 1, because obviously he's a player that I still say up until stage 1, a lot of people were still kind of looking at him as, you know, was he the right pickup for a wild card? Was he not? You know, he's still an unknown player to a lot of the viewers, so it was something that, you know, now he's getting his time to shine, and obviously everyone on wild card has been playing amazing as a team together, and I'm a little disappointed in SSG. A little disappointed because I expected a lot more because of the different styles of play that we've been seeing from them.
I mean, they copied Cruelty in a 5-man rush through a window. I mean, you know, they're obviously looking at other teams and seeing what, you know, they can incorporate into their strategy.
I mean, Cruelty is the team to watch if you want to get better at attack. So, I mean, it makes a little sense. But still, I'd say I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, a little letdown from the defending NAL champs. Wildcard are able to take them off the board. That's hard to believe, already our third matchup of the day. That one where the SSG NAL champs fall to Wildcard at a 7-2 scoreline, a very one-sided affair. We started with M80 and Standby. That one also a little more one-sided. Lax, that was a 7-4 affair. Cruelty, though, I feel like that's been the biggest story other than SSG falling to Wildcard. Cruelty put up a decent fight today.
They did. They started out the gate swinging. They were clearly playing off one another. They clearly knew how to exploit Oxygen in some of those rounds, but then it really came down into the later rounds, swapping onto that attack where we saw them falter, and where we just saw Oxygen just rapidly get 5 rounds back to back to back to close out the series. But even in this game, I do want to say, like, as much as we want to discredit SSG in terms of lack performance, sometimes some teams just play much better than they do against other teams, and vice versa. There's just one team that always has your card. And I mean, I think even back on Auction, whenever we played other teams, we were fine against. But like playing against a team like SSG or Dark Zero, we would always struggle against for whatever the reason was. We just never could put a clamp on it.
Well, later on, if any of you are just joining us, we don't have to wait too much longer because Cloud9 and Envy will be our 5th game. But coming up next, the marquee matchup of Stage 1, well, it's going to be a little bit of a tone setter here in Stage 2. It's Dark Zero and Shopify Rebellion coming up next.